Hello Pagan Perspective, it's Lippy Witch and I'm subbing for Angel today. And this week we are talking about healing specifically for cramping for female menstruation, but I'll also touch on general healing as well. So first and foremost, if anybody feels like they're having abnormal cramps or something isn't right, go to a doctor. Flat out, go to a doctor. Just do it. I will say I have some experience with female issues that are not pleasant to experience outside of the norm. I have something called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which creates irregular periods. It can cause exacerbated pain. For many it has cysts. I've been lucky and not had that. But it also makes the lining of your uterus thicker, and it's just a cluster. So I can understand the questioner's discomfort to some degree. I did just watch Kara's video and she gave great input. Heat packs. I use a rice pack, which you can get at like Walgreens. I've burnt them so many times I've had to replace them numerous amounts of times. But that's kind of my go-to. Also, she did mention something about caffeine. There are contradicting studies that some say it's good to have caffeine when you're on your period or PMSing, and others say no. Midol actually does, some types of Midol has caffeine in it. I can't take Midol for that reason because my experience is like I get very twitchy on condensed caffeine. Anyways, so I tend to not use medication like that. I'll drink like a half a cup of coffee and it does help. Apparently there's some tie into caffeine and estrogen, and that's where it can or maybe exacerbate. I think it just depends on each individual's body. But I found that really fascinating to read up on, that it affects estrogen levels. And she also talked about birth control being a good option for regulating periods, having them a little bit more normal. Again, this is something they just put me on progesterone, which is part of many birth control pills and shots and stuff to try to regulate it. So that is also a really good idea. As for witchy healing, again, Kara covered quite a bit. Teas, crystals. For me, I've used a selenite egg, which I have given to my mother for other healing. But selenite is known to be used quite often in Reiki as well. Reiki, massage, acupuncture, even chiropractor can surprisingly be quite helpful. Again, talk to your doctor if this is the right thing to potentially go down, but particularly massaging and acupuncture have been known to help for some quite extensively when they have exacerbated female issues. I would say that for me, again, like I stated, I use mostly a heat pack and I drink oolong tea. I'm not sure if there's any components that really make it better in general, but for me it seems to be the catch-all tea for me. Also, let me think. There's so many herbs that can help, and again, Kara covered. She's always really great for their resources. So many herbs and stuff with the mints and the chamomile, and even basic Tylenol, because Tylenol derives from willow bark, which is known to be a pain reliever, and a little bit of TMI, but as she touched on exercise being a good option, having sex, this is for the adults in the room, does is known to help relieve cramping pre-period and during period. It's the hormones being released, and I think the muscles being used, all in combination, actually help. So if you're able to do that, maybe try that out. And in general, general healing, not just female issue healing, I would say a lot of these things can be applied elsewhere, like with the Reiki and the chiropractor and massage and all this other stuff. But sometimes people get into their own head and hyper-focus on a physical issue, and doing that exacerbates it. I don't know if it's like the hyper-focusing itself does it, or it's a psychosomatic thing, but if you feel like you're doing nothing but thinking about the pain you're in, try meditation, try sleeping. For me, that's been great. Listen to soothing music. Try to get lost in what you're listening to. Let your mind kind of flow a bit. Surprisingly, that can help for quite a few people who are able to reach that point. But again, Kara is great with all her resources and covered quite a bit of what I was going to. So I hope my information helps anybody who needs it. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.